Hello my friends, it is me, Militant Ginger. I was watching my old videos yesterday, and it's interesting because I think I do these video like diaries or whatever they are more for me than for anything else. It's really interesting to go back and look at the mindset I was in, 6 months, a year ago. And so I thought I would do an update. I'm 6 months into the year. The last video diary type thing I did was just before I went off to Chicago at the end of 2018, and that was one hell of a year. It was very interesting because there was so much that I talked about then, which I think has come to pass, and I definitely believe that one of the things in life is life kind of manifests how you imagine it will do. You can do anything you want. You just have to do it, to follow the path. And I think that's what I spoke about last year. Last year was when I made it as a writer, and the secret of making it as a writer was simply I had a roadmap in my head of how to be a successful writer, and it was a case of having that roadmap and going step by step, and then boom, it happens. The last time I made one of these video diaries, it was the end of December, and I was anticipating the next couple of months were going to be a little hard because my book sales had lowered to a certain extent, and that was because I was having some issues in terms of sort of productivity, getting my head down. And I think I mentioned it was very difficult because I stay at home. I'm a at-home writer. I'm very good at what I do. I'm successful at it. I know how to make it work. But it was a case of actually doing it. And the first couple of months of this year were tough because of that. And then I wrote a book, and it was successful to a certain extent, but then Amazon had switched the algorithms around, so it wasn't quite as successful as I wanted it to be. Then I tried to write another couple of books, and I wasn't sticking to the roadmap. I varied off and started writing things that I wanted to write, and so those weren't as successful. So I had a couple of months where I wasn't doing great, and then I remembered who I was, and I remembered what the plan was, and I started sticking to it. The thing that I did that really transformed everything is I made the first rule of every single day to get up and write. That was the first and most important thing, and it was incredibly successful. It was incredibly good for my productivity. And the second thing I did was I stuck to the plan of what type of books to write, and these are these biker romance books that I love writing. I'm really into them, and they've been successful. So today I sit here and my book sales pretty much back to where they were last year when I was successful, and I know I've got this now. I know I've got this, except once again it's that challenge of sticking to it. It's a challenge of doing it. And today in particular, I've had a tough day getting down to it. And I think in some ways a lot of the problems that we have in life are sort of self-limiting beliefs. And when we start to make progress, we almost self-sabotage, because it's terrifying to go from the level that you have been at for the longest time, which is not where you want to be, to another level. It's almost like you hit a wall of mental resistance because you're scared of getting there. So that's something that I have to overcome, but I'm pretty sure I will. I mentioned in that video that I made 6 months ago at the end of 2018 that this year was going to be the year that the obstacle I was battling was myself. It was getting over a lot of the sort of issues that have been holding me back, just what to focus on, what's important. And I think that was a struggle for the beginning part of the year. I think when I did the video at the end of 2018, I had big bushy hair, shaggy beard and stuff like that. And it was earlier this year, I was just like, that's not me. That's not who I am. I was trying to be somebody who wasn't me. Who am I? I'm the guy with the tight, clean-cut haircut, clean shaven. I wear short-sleeved shirts. And so one of the things that I did was just went out, got my hair cut, shaved my beard, bought some new shirts, and right now I feel so much more like me. And today, I think the thing that really made a difference, I woke up today and I was so blue. and I just wasn't motivated to do anything. And I was wondering, like, how did I go for so long, writing so consistently? How did I go to the gym every day when I can barely get out of bed this morning? And then my phone went ding, and it was a message from my friend Carrie Ann, who works at the gym. She's like, you know what would make your Friday better? Gym time. And yeah, so I hopped up and I went to the gym. And I saw Carrie Ann, and she gave me a big hug, and then I went and did my workout. And it was great, and it was funny, just that one little action. You know, I don't really know Carrie Ann that well. She's an awesome person, and she took the time from her day to send me a message, like, just out of the goodness of her heart, and that just made such a difference to my mood. So anyway, what my point is, I don't really know what my point is, I'm just catching up, but I think, I'll tell you what, any moment that you have a chance to do one tiny second of kindness to someone, like send them a message or just give them a thumbs up or something like that, do it, because you never know how much of a difference it's going to make. And for me, that was a huge difference. And secondly, the thing that I've learned is don't try to be anybody except who you are. I am Roland the writer. I have short hair, clean shaven, short sleeve shirts. I go to the gym. I write books. That's what I do. And I'd lost my way a little by allowing other people to influence who they thought I was. And the third thing is figure out what it is you want to do and then do it. It's the doing it that is the most important and difficult part. And even in making this video, I'm like, you know what? It's nearly 2 o'clock. We've got 2 hours till the kids come home. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to crack on, and I am going to do some writing and just make sure when I go to bed tonight, I feel like I did my best today. And I think that's the most important thing. I've been really questioning this whole thing with, like, depression, because, you know, depression is a watchword that a lot of people go on about these days, and I think there's kind of this misunderstanding. To me, I'm not a psychologist, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. To me, depression, I think, is almost like diabetes. There is sort of type 1 diabetes, which is when you're born, your pancreas doesn't work, it can't produce insulin, so you need medical treatment. And I think there are some people who you know, have depression because of that, because their brain doesn't release the serotonin or whatever, and so they are just naturally depressed. I think the vast majority of people who suffer from depression, just like the vast majority of people who suffer from diabetes, type 2 diabetes, it is a lifestyle. It's mindset. It's allowing yourself to get into patterns of behavior that make you sick. Just like people who have type 2 diabetes, for the most part, you know, they overeat, they eat too many carbs, they don't get enough exercise. And then the sad thing is the American medical system is so screwed up that the treatment they get for their type 2 diabetes often actually exacerbates it. And I think in terms of depression as well, there is so much with our modern life that we barely understand, with, like, social media and access to information and the challenges that we have facing us, that it's very easy to just say, oh yeah, I'm depressed, I'll just take a pill and fix it, whereas actually it's more about figuring it out, what is making you depressed, figuring out the negative things. And for me, I know that I will always be depressed, and I will always feel like life sucks if I go to bed and feel like I didn't do the best that I could do in a particular day. And I think I'm sitting here right now, and the reason I'm making this video is because I put on my to-do list today, make a YouTube video. But I think it's almost like me telling myself right now as I stare into the screen that I need to pull my finger out and I need to do some writing, and I need to remember who I am. Right now, I'm moving in the right direction, but you've got to keep that momentum going. And if you take your foot off the gas, if you don't hold on to the reins as tightly, everything that you're building can suddenly snowball down again, and then it's twice as hard to get it back up again. You know what? That's what you have to do. You have to wake up every single day with a list of things you want to do, that roadmap, that step by step. You have to do as many of them as you can, and your aim is simply to go to bed and say to yourself, you know what, I did the best I could. And I think that's the most important thing. Anyway, So yeah, that's where I am right now. Six months into 2019, my writing's going back up in the right direction. It's more sustainable this time. I just need to keep that momentum going. I make sure, as I said in my last video 6 months ago, that by the end of this year, you know, I'm in a different place. I know I can do it, and I will do it. Right, and on that note, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. So, cheerio.